out of that situation. So something very interesting happens when you're adrenally stressed. You have a second system of energy in the body that is like a regulator system that regulates all the energy, and it's located right in this area here. It's called your thyroid. When the adrenal glands are cranking out all this energy because they're dealing with the dysglycemia, which is secondary itself to the messed up digestive system, eventually the thyroid starts to slow. Anybody know what that's called?
Hypothyroid.
Correct. And it is the jumping off point to every single thing we hate about life. Every single thing we hate about life. Low energy, problem sleeping, bad skin, bad periods if you're a woman, infertility, anxiety, heart disease, cancer, you name it. And it is all at the top end of a triangle, what I call the triangle of disease. Now here's where it gets sneaky. Here's where the restrictions to the game really kick in. After hypothyroidism, all of the 12,800 different diseases show up. That's how many different diseases there are according to the World Health Organization. 12,800 different diseases, and each one has its own foundation. I don't know if that's true, but a lot of them have their own foundations. There's a system in place that wants us to look up here when the problem is down here. Do you understand what I'm saying? All diseases follow this triangle with the hypothyroidism at the top. Everything, which is our power. That represents a restriction, and it represents power. The restriction is if you go to the doctor, you're going to think you have superdentita hyperintivus, whatever the heck he calls it in Latin. Oh, by the way, when you get a prescription in Latin, you get a prescription. Anybody ever get a prescription? You read the prescription. Do you ever wonder why it's in Latin? You think your doctor speaks Latin? He doesn't know Latin. What the heck's in Latin for?
Right, it's bad.
They write in Latin to make it magical. Mm-hmm. Magic is in words, to make it powerful, to make it mysterious. And that's what diseases are. There's this thing on TV, or not on TV, on Facebook and in social media called, I don't know what they call it, but it has to do with ALS, where they're the Ice Bucket Challenge. You know what I'm talking about? The Ice Bucket Challenge. ALS. That's another one. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Does anybody have any idea what that means?
Gary.
No. What does it mean? Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.
Muscular.
No, I didn't ask you. I said, what does that mean? What does amyotrophic mean? Can anybody tell me?
No.
Of course you can't tell me. You're not supposed to be able to tell me. Amyo means without muscle. Trophy means moving. Your muscles aren't moving. Amyotrophic means your muscles don't work. Lateral, I mean it's on the side. Sclerosis, it's the side of something is sclerotic, which means fibry. That's all it is, and every disease is like that. It's stuff, it's fibery, it's degenerating, it's mushy, and they call it a different thing. It's a scam of the most epic proportions. And people say, I have ALS. No, you don't, you're rotting. That's it, you have rotting disease. Period. You have arthritis. No, you don't, you're rotting. You have rotting disease. You're degenerating because you see, in those primal distinctions we talked about, in the body, those primal distinctions show up as anabolism or catabolism. Anybody ever hear those terms, anabolism and catabolism? Anyone?
Breakdown, build up.
Very nice. Now you must have heard me say that.
I'm a nutritionist.
Okay, good. Oh, you are a nutritionist. Very nice. Very nice. Have you heard me before? Have you heard this before?
Well, I know about most people are catabolic and break it down.
Very good, my friend. This is the problem. At the end of the day, we're either anabolic or catabolic net. It's like a business. You're either in the red or you're in the black. And that's all disease is. That's all it is. It doesn't matter the name. Whatever the name is, whether it's amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or whether it's myasthenia gravis, or whether it's multiple sclerosis, or whether it's cancer, whatever it is, you're just falling apart. That's it. That's all you need to know. You're net catabolic. Your net breakdown. Period. That simplifies everything. You don't need to know the name of your disease. But in order to figure out how to go anabolic, we got to figure out why we're net catabolic. Why we're in the red. You guys get this? The body's a business when we're in the red or we're in the black. one way or another. We're on one side of the equation or another. It's not neutral. There's nothing neutral. It's either break down or build up. Look at your kid, who's a 4-year-old kid, your grandkid, your child. You look at him and you're like, you're blown away, right? The chi, the life force, the energy. That's a business that's in the black, big time. And you look at grandma, not so much. She's big. She's just barely hanging on. She's like Radio Shack. I don't know if you guys follow. She's like hanging on by her fingernails. She's so she's so catabolic. So then the question becomes, how do we reverse this? How do we go net anabolic? That's all we need to know. You guys, every single disease solved. The cure for all. Did I do it? Is that clean? Did I miss anything? That's it, right? Go anabolic. Figure out how to reverse it. As simple as that. That should be our only concern if we're not as healthy as we want to be, or if we want to stay healthy, is how do we go anabolic? How do we go in the black? Well, first of all, you got to figure out why we're catabolic. Why are we net catabolic? What's going on? I heard somebody say something very good. But don't necessarily go off on New World Order stress or credit card bill stress. I'm talking organismic stress, physiologic stress. Did you know? Have you heard me say that before?
No, I have an autoimmune disease.
That's perfect. Perfect. Remember this, you're either with me or against me, fear or love. Remember the primal distinctions. These primal distinctions, fear, love, with me or against me, reflect themselves in the body as well. And they reflect themselves in the body through two nervous systems.
Sympathetic nervous.
Very good. You have two nervous systems. The nervous system is your mediator between the outside world and your biochemistry. It's the electrical information processing system that filters energy from the outside world to the inside world, from outside us to inside us. And it filters energy, so friggin' cool. It filters energy based on mental constructs and mental ideas and some physiologic ideas that are either about this thing is a survival threat or this thing is not a survival threat. It's filtering everything that way. It's filtering all information as, is this a survival threat or is it not a survival threat? The regulatory system that regulates survival threats is called your sympathetic nervous system. The neural regulatory system that regulates the relaxation, safety nervous system is called the parasympathetic nervous system. Everything we love about life is in the parasympathetic side. Everything that we love a little tiny bit about life but don't want a lot of is on the sympathetic side. You hear I said that? We need a little buzz. Bungee jumping, thrill-seeking behavior. This is very important, thrill-seeking behavior, stresses. Mild. We don't want to work, and we just don't want to work 40 freaking hours a week. We'll work, like if you had to work like 2, 3, 4 hours a week, that would be cool. But 40 hours a week, we need a little bit of stress. It's called hormesis in biochemistry. Things grow under the conditions of stress. Plants that live on the side of an island that have more stressors are more colorful. Nature likes its selected force. A little bit of stress, a little bit of stress, a little bit of sympathetic activity. But when the body is constantly bombarded by fear, the sympathetic nervous system starts to predominate, and almost everything we hate about being alive is regulated in this fashion. This is where the notion of staying out of fear and going into love, or staying out of the sympathetic nervous system, sympathetic activity, and going into parasympathetic activity as much as possible is so important. Guarantee many of you guys are in sympathetic overdrive. And I'll just tell you a couple of signs of sympathetic overdrive. Constipation, problems sleeping, high blood pressure, problems healing, skin problems, blood sugar problems. All of these are signs of sympathetic overdrive. Weight gain. If you can't lose weight, if you're trying to lose weight but it just won't come off, sympathetic overdrive. Women who are menopausal, sympathetic overdrive. Blood coagulation, blood clotting is an epidemic. It is a classic sign of sympathetic overdrive. Anxiety, mood disorders. Go down the list. Go down the list. And it's all because we're running in this fear mode, this survival mode. And you're either with me or against me. So if you're in survival mode, you're not in thrival mode. If you're in survival mode, you're not in healing mode. If you're in survival mode, you're not... Am I hitting home here? Do you guys see what the problem is? If you're in survival mode, you can't grow. When you're in survival mode, energy is redirected to the reptilian brain. Do you think it's in anybody's interest to have us in survival mode at all times? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello? Okay? If we're interested in accessing and leveraging the healing powers, our healing powers, we have to figure out how to go parasympathetic. How to relax the body from an organismic level. And there's many, many ways to do it. Deep breathing is absolutely the best. You can go 40 days without food. You can go a week, 5 days, 6 days without water, but you can't go 3 minutes without oxygen. If you want to activate the sympathetic nervous system and you want to really kick in some sympathetic energy, say you're driving, start playing with your breath. Hold your breath. Breathe shallow. Breathing shallowly, breathing to the top part of your chest, quick breathing, activate the stress response. If you want to instantly heal yourself, instantly lower your blood pressure, instantly anti-age, instantly recover from surgery, instantly fall asleep, instantly have a higher libido, instantly have a good bowel movement, instantly feel great, deep breathe for 3 minutes. I saw that app up there. I have 3 different breathing apps on my iPhone. I am tied into music. It's the most important thing you can do. And where's Bruce? He was not imagining it. You were not imagining it. Happens all the time. Imagine if we did it all the time. Deep breathing is and why is this? Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It activates the rest nervous system. It activates the relaxation nervous system. If you don't know how to deep breathe, watch an infant. That's how you do it. Infants have no stress. They're way parasympathetic, except for bursts, which probably are a good thing for that infant. Bursts. That's how the sympathetic nervous system has to be activated in quick bursts and followed by long, luscious rest. We have a culture where that's indulgent. We've created a culture where how the body loves to be is indulgent. God wants us in a hot tub. Okay? The divine force works best in a hot tub. Why? Water activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Scientists call it immersion therapy. Forget it. Water. Take a bath. Take a hot tub. Shower. Hot shower. Why do you think all these great ideas come to people in the shower? Parasympathetic. When you're sympathetic, you're in the reptilian brain, the lower limbic and the medulla, I think it is. But frontal cortex is when you're in a shower and in a hot tub and getting a massage and taking a nap and chilling and doing nothing, which we consider to be indulgent, but it's really the best medicine there is. Just sit down, do nothing. Somebody says something, say, I'm taking my medicine. That's your medicine. It's the best medicine there is. Sitting and doing nothing. But we've created a system, I say we because we're all complicit in this, it's a game. We've created a system where the restrictions are a medical model that says that you can eat the way we eat, live the way we live, and just interface with Obamacare and you'll be fine. You don't think that there's do you ever hear the Georgia Guidestones? Right. Okay. What's one of the major principles of the Georgia Guidestones?
Leave room for nature.
Human population of 500,000.
Say it louder.
Limit the human population.
Limit the population. Carve it out. Cull the herd. Cull the herd. And the medical model is there to assure that's done. Obamacare is there to be sure that's done. Go ahead and eat whatever you want. We got you covered with Obamacare. Oh, by the way, you're going to be dead at age 75. You know, or you're going to be dead at age 80 if you're lucky, or maybe 85, and you're going to wish you were dead. You know, it's one thing, they always talk about how people are living longer. Yeah, but they wish they were dead. They don't tell them that part. They're not running up the stairs in the Empire State Building, yet that's what's possible if we understand how to do it. So you guys got the problem, right? The problem is we're in survival mode. We're in survival mode on multiple levels. We're in survival mode spiritually by our sense of disconnection. We're in survival mode mentally and physically because fear is promoted. By the way, if you know it, if it's in the paper, if it's 9/11, you know, clearly you have to be a moron to think 9/11 is happened, really, with all of the stuff that's going on there, right? Why do you think it's out there? What's the purpose of releasing that stuff? If they don't want you to know, you didn't have to know. We believe whatever we're told.